one of the most interesting and occult supernatural creatures in American folklore, said to haunt the pine-barren forests of southern New Jersey, with reports going back centuries and possible connections to ancient esoteric mysticism. The Jersey Devil. Sightings and descriptions vary, but all seem to report a large, demonic, winged beast, originally called the Leeds Devil, for its association to one of the country's oldest families, embroiled in rumors of the occult, beginning as early as the 1600s with Daniel Leeds, who became ostracized from the Quaker Church due to his obsessive study of Christian occultism and mysticism, cosmology, as well as demonology and angelology. Obsessions that may well have directly led to the creation of the reported creature. According to popular legend, a woman referred to as Mother Leeds had cursed her 13th pregnancy, offering the child up to Satan himself, and upon the child's birth, it quickly transformed into a monstrous demon, the creature reported to this day. According to the Oldry family of hunters, based on the many writings I've inherited from them, the Jersey Devil could possibly be two different things. I believe that the most likely explanation is that it is some type of summoned demon based on the studies of Daniel Leeds passed down through his family, likely multiple different entities. Another possibility is some type of cambion, a human-demon hybrid, given the story of Mother Leeds birthing the thing herself, though the story is unconfirmed. Read about both in the Oldry family bestiary. The Dog Man is perhaps the most commonly reported paranormal creature of the modern era, with multiple supposed videos and photographs on the internet. Many reports across the United States describe a towering monster, often described as a cryptid, similar to Bigfoot. But is it possible that this large canine beast is actually the very same supernatural monster reported by centuries of our ancient ancestors? The werewolf. Based on the inherited writings I've discovered from the Oldry family of monster hunters, who had a long history with numerous types of werewolves. This is very likely the case for the most common type of werewolf, photographed here inside the dungeon St. George's Keep, was a supernatural curse that did not involve the reversion to human form, unlike how it's commonly portrayed in popular modern media. This was a permanent transformation. You can read more about them and others in the Oldry family bestiary. In terms of accurate film portrayals, I haven't seen anything closer than the Ginger Snaps trilogy from the mid-2000s. As I've mentioned, there were other types of werewolves as well, including a horrific Norse pagan beast, part of an apocalyptic cult that literally tears out of its own flesh, empowered by the legendary god-slaying Fenrir, and a nightly demonic possession that twisted man into beast and likely inspired the earliest film adaptations of the creatures. But those are stories for another video. Giants are a highly popular topic among the supernatural corners of social media. Many such creatures are spoken of in folklore and mythology around the world. This includes the writings of the Oldry line of hunters, specifically Harold Oldry, who wrote of a conversation with the Celtic witch Bridget, referencing a race of giants from Celtic mythology, the Fomorians, described as bloodthirsty warrior giants, taking many monstrous forms and warring with the Celtic gods, similar to the frost giants of Norse myth. While varying in description, they were always said to be massive and ruthless. In his writings of them, it was revealed that Bridget feared them as a child, and that the last were slain by the sons of man in the 16th century. Both knew them as particularly hideous creatures, even among other giant races, given to violence and war, and even said to sail the seas. Their horrid appearance was said to instill shock in some that beheld them, along with ogres and some smaller species of troll. These creatures and stories inspired the popular fictional race of orcs from the seminal work of J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. Alban Grau was the art director of the 1922 film Nosferatu, and it's all but certain that he had once encountered a real vampire. Grau, also a producer on the film, was the man responsible for the many costumes and designs of the movie, including the now famous visage of the vampire Count Orlok, as seen here in his many promotional artworks created for the film, and his final on-screen appearance, as portrayed by actor Max Schreck. Official records of Grau's creation of this monstrous appearance have seemingly been lost to time, but looking at this famously haunting appearance with the pointed ears, bald head, beady eyes, long clawed fingers, lines up almost perfectly with the descriptions and the many writings of the Oltree family, who had a long history combating many types of vampires. Specifically, Orlok seems modeled on a vampire elder, as shown here photographed in St. George's Keep, which you can read more about in the Oltree family bestiary. The film is also popularly believed to be the origin of the idea that vampires can be killed by sunlight, a characteristic specific to elders not found in other types of vampires. A similar idea was put forth in the 2000 film Shadow of the Vampire, wherein actor Max Schreck was portrayed as being a real vampire, encountered by the film's director F.W. Murnau during his travels. Through this early, starkly accurate adaptation, the visage of the elder vampire has passed through modern culture, relatively unchanged for over 100 years. As seen in numerous other films, television shows, video games, and much more. But make no mistake, these horrors are very real, certainly still existing somewhere out there in the world, some continuing past death in ghostly forms. What are cursed images? I've shown photos with supernatural properties like phantom movement, but to be considered cursed goes beyond such things. Items imbued with dark energy or curses have openly negative effects on those that interact with them. It is a concept used in many horror films. Warning: the following images have caused paranormal activity around some who view them. Some works of art, as well as photographs, have been said to be similarly cursed, inciting activity by merely being seen. The Crying Boy is a famous example, a series of paintings blamed for multiple house fires across decades. The painting Minovia has been blamed for strings of horrific luck among its various owners. Similarly, the Rain Woman was said to call forth the apparition in the painting to chase people in their homes and dreams. The Cooper family photo said to stir violent dread and nausea in those who stare too deeply at the hanging figure. Warning: please apologize to Robert after viewing his photos. Robert is a haunted doll, it is said must be apologized to after viewing images taken without his permission. I will now show my low-level cursed photos. These images of dark entities have caused reactions to the highly impressionable in the past. The modern hunters I've met, associated with Alexandra, have sworn me to not showing the stronger cursed images. Arcane books bound in human skin. Some even in the most decorated halls of academia. Harvard has recently removed the human leather binding of a book called Destinies of the Soul. But this is far from a one-time practice, dating back to ancient times. Anthropodermic bibliopagy, it's called in academic circles. There are numerous supposed examples, and even a catalog of those that have been confirmed. Harvard's copy of Destinies of the Soul was supposedly bound in the skin of a woman taken after her passing without her prior consent. It seems the binding was removed for this reason alone, with no concern for its material. Multiple popular films have featured magical books of this nature, including the cult classic Evil Dead films, featuring an evil book bound in human skin called the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, and the beloved Disney Halloween movie Hocus Pocus, wherein Head Witch Winifred Sanderson wields a similarly adorned spell book. The use of human skin has a long and dark history in the deeper world of the occult, adding dark magical properties to books and other artifacts.